This is the worst thing that happened to me professionally. Hey, it's Daria here. Welcome to Building Awesome Teams. So today I wanted to talk about a topic that has been on my mind since the beginning of 2019, I think. A topic I am quite passionate about, and it is the flexible office space, also known as an activity-based workplace. And I don't mean co-working places, I mean the actual office design many companies, especially bigger ones, choose to implement these days. What exactly is an activity-based flexible office? There are different categories of flex workspace, but here's what I mean by it in my video. Activity-based work is the practice of providing employees with a choice of office setting for a variety of tasks and activities throughout the workday. It is usually associated with an open office concept with no cubicles, no assigned seating, and multi-purpose spaces throughout the office like spaces for meetings of different sizes, brainstorming areas, relaxation areas, small call rooms, and more. It is portrayed as an innovative solution to office space problems. I'm going to refer to it as AFO. This video is more of an opinion piece. Stay until the end to hear my personal stories and solutions to the challenges that the flexible office space presents, and oh, there are many. I have a very strong opinion that flexible office space is an absolutely terrible arrangement for Scrum teams, for Kanban teams, for Agile teams, honestly, for any team. I thought if we are talking about innovative solutions to all problems, which AFO claims to be, I should get some help from AI to help me prove my point. So I asked ChatGPT to identify key reasons how flex space hurts agility in product teams. I got a list of 5 drawbacks of the AFO. They are the lack of structure, inefficient use of space, limited personalization, lack of privacy, and difficulties in communication. Let's dive into the explanations for why that is. Because there are no designated team areas and no assigned seating, it can easily lead to a lot of wasted time as people have to search for an available workspace multiple times during the day, or just try to find their co-workers to have a quick chat. It can be difficult for team members to focus and stay organized because there's a lot of movement around them and a lot of distractions coming from people they might not even know. And it is not the same to say to a team member, for example, that they have been a bit loud and maybe they should get a bit quieter as you're trying to work. And it is a completely different situation when you don't even know who is sitting in front of you. A real-life example that comes to prove that point is when we were working in an AFO space with the team of developers, the Scrum team I was a Scrum Master for, and right next to us one day there was someone sitting who I think was from the sales team. And this person was on the call the whole day. So they were really loudly talking all the time, and I could see that my team was getting frustrated because they just couldn't focus on their work. And because the space is constantly changing, it can be difficult to optimize the layout for productivity and collaboration. You often can't keep the information up on the wall after a brainstorming session, for example, and maybe come back to it later. You have to recreate the whole experience. Flex space can be particularly challenging for introverted team members who need a sense of personalization and control over their work environment. You know, like developers, people may have special tools that allow them to be more productive, like a 2-monitor setup, an ergonomic keyboard, or a food stand. And you can't always carry this stuff around with you in the office. While flex space is designed to be open and collaborative when it comes to the need to focus on individual complex tasks, like coding and testing, AFO will feel like a distracting and disruptive environment. In the end, flex space can make it more difficult to communicate effectively and to establish a sense of community and shared identity among team members. This all made sense to me. But I thought that it's very one-sided of me to present just these arguments. So I asked ChatGPT to identify how AFO actually encourages agility in product teams. And I've got a list of 5 advantages of AFO. It promotes collaboration, it's adaptable to changing needs, it increases productivity, it promotes well-being, and it improves recruitment and retention. I tried really hard to write this next bit using the information I got from ChatGPT, but I had struggled even when I had the text right there because it just sounded like complete bull to me. Here's what it said about adaptability. Product development is inherently unpredictable. That's true. And teams often need to pivot quickly in response to changing customer needs or market conditions. That's also true. Flexible workspace designs can help product teams stay agile by providing the ability to quickly adapt to changing needs. With movable furniture and modular layouts, teams can easily reconfigure the workspace to meet their changing needs without requiring extensive renovations. I can't even say this last part because it makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't believe that this is any different from the usual open space. Is it? You still cannot move certain things, like walls or maybe some couches are put in place and you can't just move them around the hallways. It's not really a Lego, where you can just change everything, whether it is an AFO space or not. You maybe have less walls because you don't have the cubicle design, but what's the difference with the open space? I'm not sure. On the point of well-being, ChatGPT said this: flexible workspace designs can also promote employee well-being by providing a comfortable and customizable work environment. By allowing employees to personalize their workspaces, flexible workspaces can help create a sense of ownership and belonging, which can improve job satisfaction and employee engagement. This is literally not true because there is no assigned seating, so you need to keep the desk clean for the next person. It's the opposite of personalization. And I can't see what else may promote well-being in an AFO. And the last point was kind of hilarious. So it said, flexible workspace designs can also improve recruitment and retention by providing a modern and desirable work environment. As competition for top talent continues to increase, companies that offer flexible workspaces are more likely to attract and retain the best employees. Having to work in AFO was literally one of the key reasons I left one company. So I don't see how it can improve employee retention, to be honest. I think if you offer remote work, then this will definitely help. But AFO? I know that in this bit, I wanted to give you the positives of AFO, and I know I'm very, very biased here, but I was just only able to gather these things. One, flex space can encourage collaboration and teamwork by providing open spaces and shared resources that remove barriers between team members, allowing them easy access to each other. If they can find each other. Another one is it can help create the right setup for the activity at hand, like having a big whiteboard for a brainstorming session or a small one-person room for a quick call, so it may help increase productivity when the appropriate space is used. But the same can be done in any open space, really. Many AFOs also provide access to natural light and greenery, which creates a healthier and more enjoyable work environment, which can be done in any type of office. And the last but not least, AFO can help companies reduce costs associated with traditional office leases, since not every employee has to have a designated seating area. I guess this is the biggest benefit for a lot of companies, isn't it? After reading the two sides, I thought that I'm still missing some information. It's still very, very biased. I need some proof. So I went to do some digging into research papers. Fun. ResearchGate was a big help with that, and I'll link all of the studies I'm referring to in the description, as well as some other studies that I looked into but didn't include in the video itself. One study conducted in 2015 in a medium-sized Swedish municipality for a group of less than 300 people revealed issues related to lack of privacy and increased noise disturbance. Participants also reported less satisfaction with seat comfort and work posture. Employees in the AFO with work tasks requiring a high degree of concentration experienced lower productivity, while those with a high proportion of teamwork rated productivity to be continually high. Another study, which was focused on leadership relationships, showed that relocations from cell and open plan offices to AFOs were clearly related to a decrease in the perception of relation-oriented leadership behaviors. However, coming from open plan offices to AFO also decreased the perception of the other leadership dimensions. I'm not going to go into details on that, but I thought it was an interesting point here about leadership, or more specifically, just relationships between employees and their managers. In one more study, the interviewees reported that inter-team collaboration improved while working in the AFO. Reasons that were mentioned for this positive effect were more contact, communication, collaboration possibilities, like joint project work, and trust in relationships. However, interviewees also reported negative effects, such as that teamwork suffered due to less communication and cooperation, probably because they couldn't find each other. Along with that, especially ensuring team cohesion and communication among team partners were the most often mentioned challenges for management, since team members were spatially dispersed within the office building. Of course, all of these studies have been quite limited in the number of participants and long-term analysis. A lot of them were pretty short, so take it with a grain of salt. However, all that I mentioned doesn't sound too good overall coming from those studies. Why on earth would companies keep investing into AFOs? Why? I mean, I don't have an answer. Maybe you do, so I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Maybe you have a completely different opinion on that topic and you see the benefits of AFO. Please share your observations and findings, as I think it can help us see the bigger picture. But what do you do with all of this information now? You might find yourself in a situation where your team has to work in an AFO, and I think knowing what could be the potential challenges you would face can help your team stay productive nevertheless. The studies I looked into made a couple of suggestions. Number one, take work characteristics into account when planning and creating your AFO spaces. Flexible and interactive tasks seem more appropriate in AFO, whereas individual tasks demanding concentrations seem less fit. Think of developers. They often require several hours of focused individual work per day to stay effective. So maybe AFO is not a good fit for them. Another one, number two, it's best to have assigned team areas to support teamwork and collaboration, especially in Scrum teams. One of the things that we had in our AFO space was actually assigned team area that had a few desks around it. Unfortunately, even though we had our own whiteboard where we could leave a lot of information on every day, we still didn't have enough seating spaces around this whiteboard to work together. And another suggestion from the studies, number three, it's essential to quickly resolve people's privacy concerns, make it easy for employees to switch workspaces, and allow for some personalization, especially for people who have additional ergonomic needs. I remember the time when I worked in an AFO as a Scrum Master. I hated it so much, but we had to find solutions. One of the good things was that we had a dedicated team whiteboard where we were able to keep some important information and we didn't have to remove it. However, because we didn't really have designated desks in this same space, we would often find the team spread around the office. As a Scrum Master, I was doing everything I can to keep the team together. Sometimes, if I came in earlier and grabbed a desk next to the rest of the team, I would often give it away to one of the team members. That would often make me have to sit on a couch or on a high chair if I wanted to stay close to the team, which resulted in regular back pain for me. Thanks, AFO. We were not allowed to keep the space for the whole day if we were not at the desk for over 30 minutes. So if you were away for a meeting, for example, or even for lunch, you had to clean the desk for someone else just in case. We had to carry all of our stuff around the office, so a huge backpack became a must. More back pain. Yay! Damn, just talking about it makes my blood boil. I'll tell you a little secret that the developers in our Scrum team used to do to keep their desk space over lunch. They would start running a build or something like that and would put a little sticky note on their monitor saying, "Build running in progress, don't unplug the computer." It worked. Those several months working in a flex office were extremely stressful for me as a Scrum Master, as most of my day made me basically run around the 3 floors of our office trying to find the right people, get my team together, find a space to run a brainstorming session, and more. This might be what you may have to do too to support your team, because I believe this is the best way to deliver value to them and remove as many impediments to their progress as possible. I know this was not my usual type of video, but this is such an important topic for me that I really wanted to share my thoughts, and I hope that some of the insights can help you in case you find yourself working in an AFO space. I am convinced that it's better to have a fully remote Scrum team than a Scrum team working in an activity-based flexible workspace. But what do you think? Have you ever worked in an AFO before? What was your experience? What benefits do you think it has, and how can we use those benefits for the betterment of our teams? Share in the comments below. I hope you learned something new, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers and Scrum on!